Hey guys, I'm Layla. Today we're in Raid Shadow Legends, and we're going to be reading the lore story for Greenwarden Ruarc. Now, I hadn't realized I hadn't read his story. I thought I did until we watched Raid's newest commercial that actually stars him. And it's like, this face in the chest talks. So I need to know what is up with the face and the chest. And we have like this going on here too on his shield, right? And it's a very interesting thing because the commercial I'm referencing to has a code for new players to give him as a free legendary champ on new accounts, right? Which is an interesting thing to see. But more so, I need to know what's up with this thing talking in his chest. So I haven't read the lore story. I really hope that they address it. So let's read it together. And here we go. The bond shared between the Sylvan and the Mistwood remains a mystery to those outside the Dark Forest. And in truth, many of the Sylvan who hear the rhythm are unable to explain its workings. It endlessly evolves the needs and wants of the masses, forever changing the forest and its people. Sometimes those changes can affect the very nature of a Sylvan's character, such as the case of the Fae known as Greenwarden Ruarc. In the times before darkness fell in the Mistwood, Ruarc was a frequent visitor of Sylvan halls. He would appear on a summer's breeze, shrouded in petals and leaves, to invite all gathered to compete in daring challenges. These varied greatly, including spoken games of mind and soul where contestants were asked to solve a riddle, to find the beauties of the Mistwood, or to compose a song that could bring any listeners to tears. Many challenges were physical, a race on the wind, a climb to the forest canopy, or a test of strength. Ruarc's favorite challenge was a game of courage and honor. He would wander the woods and burst into the glade halls of Sylvan lords, calling for them to use his famous Lord of the Glades to do unto him anything they desired. In return, he would repeat the act upon them. If challengers pleased him and respected the terms, Ruarc would offer them a gift he deemed worthy of the boldness and honor they displayed in the trial. Most challengers took up the sword and delivered a blow to Ruarc's body. This became a point of glory among those in the Sylvan court. The harder they hit, and the deadlier their swing, the braver they were. As promised, Ruarc returned the strike, matched the exact point of contact and strength behind the blade. The result was many scars, from slashes across the chest or face and stabs to the gut that healers would have to rush to mend. But if someone cowered from Ruarc when he came to return their blow, he sometimes cursed them to forever jump at shadows, for he would one day strike them in the dark, or promise to make them suffer every time they drank, for he would one day poison their water. Little to the cursed one's knowledge, Ruarc would not deliver his threatened penalty, but the constant dread and paranoia that would plague them while awaiting their punishment was in itself enough of a curse for their cowardice. It was Ruarc's greatest amusement that so few realized the full potential of this challenge, that they could simply do unto him an act of goodwill. A challenger could use the sword to help Ruarc complete his errands, such as defending the forest of interlopers. To these Sylvan, Ruarc returned their good deed and protected them and theirs, becoming a personal guardian who watched over them. When the first heart tree was corrupted and the rhythm changed, Ruarc's jovial air sombered. He could no longer divert himself with silly games or laugh with others. Instead, he fought by their side. His petals and soft smiles were replaced by hard armor and an expressionless health to help him clear the Mistwood of demon spawn and the corrupted. He found purpose in helping the forest to regrow in the wake of the devastation they caused, sowing new seeds for new life. Centuries have passed since that disaster, and an increasing desire to expand their lands spread among the Sylvan as the rhythm began to drum a steady beat like marching feet, and vice versa. In the Mistwood, flowers sprouted thorns and trees oozed toxic sap, and Ruarc's ruthlessness festered. He needed to see the Mistwood's vines sprawl from the forest borders and choke all other life to take root in their remains. Where once the Greenwarden Sword of the Glade had been a part of well-intentioned games, and later a symbol of defiance and rebirth through the corruption, it had become a glorious tool of conquest. Leading raiding parties past the borders of the Mistwood, Ruarc preemptively attacked potential threats to the forest and tangled lands in barbed vines, wiping out all present life so as to make room for the expanding forest. There are those who remember and lament the Greenwarden's old games and riddles. They believe that once the Mistwood is safe from outside threats, once it is vast and powerful enough to dissuade any thoughts of invasion from the minded outsiders, the rhythm and the forest may settle into a soothing tune. Ruarc one day might laugh and post challenges of bravery and valor again. Okay, I gotta be honest, I'm disappointed that they don't address this. I'm actually kind of disappointed. I was really, really hoping, reading this story, that they would kind of explain what's up with this, and they kind of didn't. What I did find fun about the story, though, is the way that he used his sword in the challenges. Because, yeah, it's kind of like a riddle, right? Is whatever the opponent does with the sword, he will do in turn. So instead of just being offensive and attacking, people could, they could try to use it for good, and then in turn have him do something good. So I thought that that was kind of interesting what they had in there. But guys, I'd love to know what you think for the story for Greenwarden Ruarc. Drop me a comment down below, and thanks for watching.